There are many outlets of contractors to choose from when it comes to the $90 billion home services market. Thumbtack and TaskRabbit have grown in popularity in recent years, but one company was an early pioneer of the idea behind finding and reviewing local contractors.
Our home is our largest investment, so we want to be smart and we want to make sure we're taking care of that investment.
This is Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angi, formerly Angie's List, a home services company that helps homeowners find and hire professional contractors. Started by Angie and her co-founder Bill Oesterle with $50,000 in 1995, the company was originally a call-in service and a monthly newsletter before pivoting online.
We focus on the whole house, and in particular, the skilled trades. These are the big projects. This is putting a new roof on your house, rewiring your house.
The company, which went public in 2011, has consistently brought in over $1 billion every year since 2018. The platform earns its revenue primarily from contractors who pay to advertise on Angi and from paid memberships, which provide discounts on additional services for an annual fee.
One thing doesn't change, and that's the fact that we all need someplace to live.
There are three numbers to look out for in this story. $50,000, the initial investment for the company in 1995, $1.35 billion, Angi's total revenue for 2023, and over $150 million, the company's all-time number of service requests. Here's how one person selling door-to-door memberships turned into a billion-dollar company. This is Founder Effect. For a semester in college in 1994, Angie interned at a venture capital firm in Indianapolis. Before graduation, she heard from her boss, Bill Oesterle, again, this time about starting a company with him in Columbus, Ohio.
So he came to me and said, hey, I've got this idea, your parents are gonna hate it, but why don't we start a business and I'll raise enough money so that we can run it for a year. And if it doesn't work out, the worst thing that happens is you have a great essay for a business school application.
At the time, Angie already had a job offer as a business consultant in Washington, D.C.
I am a very introverted person, and the thought of being an entrepreneur seemed kind of like crazy. And I was like, that's just not me. I thought about it for a long time after he talked to me and talked to my family. I was convinced to take the leap of faith with Bill. A theme throughout my life has been that when I find people that believe in me and are supportive of me, that's really valuable.
Bill's idea was the basis for Angie's List. He had used a similar company for his fixer-upper house in Indianapolis, and now he wanted to start his own in Columbus, naming it Columbus Neighbors. He raised $50,000 from investors.
In the early days, we decided that we should start by selling the membership for about $19 a year. You took this introverted person and said, you're gonna go out and go door to door. If I sold one membership in a day, I was thrilled.
While selling memberships, Angie also built up a list of recommended contractors. About 1,000 members signed up in the first year. In 1996, the company changed its name to Angie's List and acquired its inspiration, Unified Neighbors in Indianapolis.
Bill suggested we name it Angie's List. People called in, they talked to Angie, so it kind of made sense.
Angie's List began to expand to other cities and hired market managers to run and oversee local lists.
So we had an office in Columbus, an office in Cleveland, an office in Indianapolis. We actually went where we had investors so that they kind of became a little anchor for us in their city and champion in the city. So they did everything. They kind of ran their team, they did their marketing, they sold advertising to highly rated pros. It was their little business in many ways. And then we had a number of part-time folks that worked for us that would actually just answer the calls because homeowners would call in to find out which electrician or remodeler they should use.
By 1998, Angie's List had opened in a total of 4 markets. It then moved online in 1999.
In a lot of ways, our brand was about our people and about how we talk to people and kind of how we help them and just kind of that really neighborly feeling. And that's hard to replicate online.
In 1998, Angie decided to pursue her MBA. She graduated from Harvard Business School in May 2000 with no immediate plans to return to Angie's List.
I was kind of at the breaking point, quite honestly. And had I not left and gone to business school, I probably would have left the company altogether at that time. It was a great time for me to kind of regain focus. So I embarked on interviewing, and I was talking to an interviewer, and it was the most flat conversation I've ever had. And I was like, you know what? This is not exciting. I'm not going to learn from you. It made me realize that we were a team that really cared about each other and really pushed each other, and that's what was going to make a difference. So I decided I wanted to go back.
A major turning point came in 2005. The company says it paid National Public Radio $800,000 for nationally broadcasted ads across 700 stations, providing it a handful of spots a week on certain shows.
When we were building the business, we were a local marketer, but we always knew at some point we were going to tip the scale and can become a national marketer. And all of a sudden that changed the entire business, because the biggest expense to opening markets for us was that marketing cost. We went from, in 2005, having 30 markets to having 100 markets in about 18 months.
In 2010, Angie's List raised $25 million in capital from investors. The company went public on the NASDAQ the next year at a valuation of $900 million.
Thank you. Bill and I couldn't be more excited to have gotten to this point in the business.
Today, the company's market cap is around $1.2 billion. With a net income of $10 million and more than 10 million verified reviews, Angie's List had its first profitable year in 2015. The next year, for the first time, all users could access the list for free.
So if you were looking for a landscaper or a plumber or a roofer, you could check the list, find out, kind of companies that you could reach out to.
In May 2017, IAC acquired Angie's List in a deal valued over $500 million. IAC would merge Angie's List with its own reviews site, HomeAdvisor, and both companies were brought under the new parent company, Angie Home Services Incorporated.
We had rebuilt our technology, and our growth had flattened quite a bit, and there was an opportunity for us to really focus on reinvigorating that growth, as well as combining Angie's List with our largest competitor, which was HomeAdvisor, which they had owned for a number of years.
In March 2021, Angie's List rebranded as Angie, dropping the E from its name. Additionally, parent company Angie Home Services Incorporated would change its name to Angie Incorporated.
Angie's List wasn't just a list anymore, hadn't been for a number of years. So we wanted to drop the list portion of Angie's List. And then, we decided to drop the E too. It modernizes it a little bit. It's short, it's unique, and it makes it a fun name.
The company has consistently brought in over $1 billion in revenue every year since 2018. In 2023, it had over 23 million service requests from homeowners. And as of Q2 2024, there are 187,000 transacting service professionals on the platform. In 2015, Bill stepped down as the company's CEO. He passed away from complications related to ALS in 2023 at the age of 57.
Bill was my biggest champion, quite honestly, and you could tell in starting this business, it was a real passion for him to be an entrepreneur. He was incredibly engaged. In the early days, he was the strategy guy and I was the executor.
Over the years, Angie herself has worn many hats: co-founder, president, and chief marketing officer. Today, she is the company's chief customer officer.
That type of a role really speaks to me and kind of what I enjoy doing. I absolutely love interacting with our customers and understanding, how the product's working for them, where their pain points are, where are their areas of opportunity. And I also think there's an opportunity to really put a personal touch on a brand. I think in a world of technology, we a lot of times forget to have conversations. We forget to talk to our customers, to, treat them like they're our next door neighbor. It solves problems. It creates a more enduring relationship with people. And I think it's a way for us to learn fast and really kind of create a softer, more friendly approach with customers.